Hi everyone, it's Nini. Welcome to my channel. I like to talk about makeup, face paint, and true crime, but not at the same time. I also occasionally talk about other topics. In celebration of 2,000 subscribers, I wanted to do my first Q&A. I got some questions on Instagram and some on YouTube. I still can't believe I have 2,000 subscribers. I know the recent bump in subscribers is due to my Katie Joy videos. I still owe a big thanks to Charlotte on the Web and Nikki for shouting me out. I'll start with the YouTube ones. Angel Cake asked, how long is your process from beginning to end with your face paint transformations? Loving your true crime coverage too. Thank you so much. If the end included showering and cleaning up, I'd say my average is probably about 4 hours. If you just counted the time from when I sat down at my desk and picked up a paintbrush to the time I put it down, probably about 3 hours. It's a really enjoyable process though. I'll put YouTube videos on in the background and I'll just sit there, and I don't like to be rushed when I do it. It's my creative outlet. It's just fun to just sit there and paint and create. Ever since my father's death, it's been a little bit hard to get back into the groove of face painting. I was starting to get back into face painting and I did a couple of them and I'm like, okay, life's feeling normal. I'm adjusting to the grief. And then life was like, nope. And my dog got sick and passed away. So it's just been a little bit hard to get that groove going again. Leanne Heck asked, have you ever done stand-up comedy? You're so on point with your KJ coverage. That's such a compliment. But no, I would never do stand-up comedy because I am an introvert. I hate public speaking.
I hate it with a passion.
So my anxiety level would be through the roof. But I do enjoy having a sense of humor. Life can be very serious and rough at times, and so I think it's important to be able to laugh at things, and it's especially important to laugh at ourselves. That's one thing that bugs me about Katie Joy, is that she tries to come across as this like makeup expert and legal expert and this perfect mother, and she knows everything and she never does anything wrong. Meanwhile, she's sitting there, you know, scratching her nose and burping on cameras, which, okay, and to be honest, like burping, picking your nose, that honestly doesn't bother me. I mean, who doesn't burp? But to sit there and act like you don't is what bugs me. I think it's very, very important to be able to laugh at yourself and realize and accept the fact that nobody is perfect. I use a lot of GIFs in my videos. I absolutely love GIFs. My sister and I can have an entire conversation just throwing GIFs back and forth at each other. I think they're hilarious. Speaking of Katie, Charlotte on the Web, she is one of the sweetest people on the internet. She is very respectful in her coverage of Katie Joy. I make fun of her, but Charlotte doesn't. She's a very classy lady. She asked me, how did you find Katie Joy and what made you not like her? I might do a more in-depth video on that, like how I came across her. Long story short, I discovered Katie Joy when she covered the Micah Stauffer situation, which was, I believe, May of 2020. And I'll admit I did like her in the beginning. I did subscribe to her. When I find a YouTuber that I like, I will frequently go back and look at all of their videos just to see some of their other content. And that's what I did with Katie Joy when I found her. I, went back to the beginning. And granted, I didn't watch every single video of hers because I know right now I think she has over 2,000 videos. At the time, she probably would have had 1,000 or so. I don't know. But there are a lot of videos, so I didn't watch all of them. Like I said, I did enjoy some of them. In some of her videos where she talked about the Duggars, there were things that she said that made me think, there's no way you can know that. And I know she claims to have sources, but some of it just didn't make sense to me. It just felt, in my opinion, that she was making some of it up, because I was like, there's no way you can know that. What made me unsubscribe was when I watched her video where it involved Derek. He had been doing a live stream on Instagram apparently, and Katie Joy was talking about how he caught Michelle yelling at one of the kids. And when you watch the video, to me it sounds like she's just saying like, no, we don't do that. But Katie Joy was making it seem like she was, crouching over her and the child was trying to hide because she was terrified, and just made this like a whole big thing about it.
Talked about how she tries to only use soft words. I think you'll see a stark difference between what she says she does and like what she actually does. All parents yell at their children.
So, what?
We have moments where we lose it.
Mom, why do you always interrupt me?
These parents act as though they don't. Let me show you.
Hey Mom, this is our Instagram followers. We were just making a video saying hey.
And she's like, and then Jennifer's like moving away from her mother. And then as as he walks away, you can still hear her yelling at Jennifer. This isn't like, oh, she's being, you know, so out of control or this or that. People were like, see, Michelle, you're not this, I use soft words. Her daughter is moving away from her, which is indicative of a child that might be expecting something. And I'm not grasping at straws, Jennifer. This was actually all over the media. This actually went viral. So that's the video. I don't know what you guys think about it.
I forgot to mention another video I watched around this time. She was talking about some of the downfalls of other YouTubers, some of the legal trouble they were in, or some of the backlash that they were facing. It was really off-putting because she talked about it with a smile on her face, like she was so happy to see other people failing. She does seem to thrive on other people's troubles, in my opinion. That was also another reason why I unsubscribed. It was shortly after that started to come across videos on YouTube talking about her fight with Angelica Oles, the Janelle Eason stuff, and just more and more. I work from home. I don't have office drama or anything like that. The drama that's talked about on YouTube is kind of my entertainment, and I hate saying that. And to further elaborate on why I don't like her, she makes fun of other people all the time. I actually don't like to make fun of other people. I am an empath. I'm a very compassionate person. Like if I see somebody hurting, I feel it and I cry. But she's so mean to people. Like I'm not a fan of Trisha Paytas or Gabby Hanna. I would never probably make videos on them like I do about Katie Joy because I don't think they're hurting other people. I could be wrong on that. I really don't follow their situations too closely. It bugs me that she has to hurt other people and exploit other people. Like nobody is perfect.
I'm an addict with anger issues and anxiety and depression, and I eat my feelings, and I'm cynical, and I have self-esteem issues, and I spend way too much money on makeup.
But like, I own that. I'm not going to try to sit here and act like that's not who I am because that is who I am. Those are my flaws. They're part of me. She can't own her own shit. When somebody corrects you in a chat, there's no shame in saying, oh, I didn't know that. Thank you for pointing that out. I could go on and on. Like I said, I might make a video dedicated just to my feelings on her and why I have, you know, decided to make videos about her. Army Wife on YouTube. I think you're the one who's also been chatting with me in my DMs on Instagram. I've been really enjoying chatting with you, so I'm glad you reached out. She asked, what is your opinion about certain bloggers who can dish it yet can't take it? If you are gonna dish something out, you have to be able to take it. And that's just one thing that Katie Joy can't do. She really has that saying of rules for thee, but not for me. Hypocrisy bugs the crap out of me, and she is the queen of hypocrisy in my opinion. Army Wife had also asked me some of my thoughts on the Duggars. We had a little bit of a discussion on that. I'll just say I'm not a fan of the Duggars. Having that many children, I don't think there's any way that you can actually give the same amount of love to each child. There's some things about that kind of lifestyle that I would not agree with. The Josh Duggar stuff, I do think the parents failed the daughters, in my opinion. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors. You know, just because you don't put something out on social media doesn't mean you didn't take care of it behind the scenes. So it is possible that maybe they did get the girls some therapy and tried to help them because they were victims. It just did seem like a lot of the focus was on Josh. It did kind of seem like they made excuses for what he did, which is really sad. And then the later stuff that came out about him, I don't think I can even talk about because it's gross. He's where he deserves to be right now. Now over on Instagram, Drew, who runs the account Dog Sally, because his dog's name is Sally, he asked, where do babies come from? From the stork, Drew, obviously. I do have to give a shout out to Drew because he's an online friend who I've grown close with, and he reached out with a phone call and text messages after my dad passed away, and then when my dog passed away, he gave me another phone call then and prayed for me both times, and that was so appreciative to have somebody reach out like that. So thank you, Drew. Jeannie asked me, do you miss your friends you made in Alaska as much as they miss you? Yes, 1000% yes. Jeannie is one of those friends I made in Alaska. When I was 22 years old, my sister and I drove to Alaska. We lived and worked there for 5 months during the cruise ship season, and it was hands down the best time in my entire life. Jeannie and her husband were some of the people that we lived with up there. She says, friends you made in Alaska, but I consider them my family because we lived in RVs 5 feet away from each other. You worked with them, you went home and they were still nearby you, you hiked with them, and we really did become a family. My plan was to continue to do that, like to go back every year for the cruise ship season, but the year we were there was 2008. The economy was just not good at that time, so I did have some pressure to just get a normal job, but I regret that. I definitely regret that. And Jeannie's just the sweetest woman. My goodness. Half Aware asked, how did you get started in body painting? That goes back to my love of makeup because I've been a makeup lover for years. And several years ago, I discovered makeup on YouTube and my love of makeup went like, within, discovering makeup artists on YouTube and on Instagram is how I saw some of those artists who also dabbled in face paint and body paint. And I just was mesmerized by it. I'm like, this is so cool. So the summer of 2019, I sat down and did a half skull because I thought, okay, this is really cool. I'm going to give it a shot. And I fell in love with it. Like I said, I have kind of lost my groove with it, with everything traumatic that's happened in my life the past few months. But I love it. I love the learning process. Some of the people are so talented. It just blows my mind. I think it was about 6 months after I started face painting, I got asked to be a part of Phantasmagoria Artists on Instagram, and they have also become a family. We don't just support each other with our art endeavors, but we also support each other with things that happen in life. I don't know how many of them have reached out to me with the death of my father and the death of my dog just to check in on me. So they're another family that I have. Violet Cemetery, she's one of the artists in that Phantasmagoria group. She asked me, what would your dream job be and dream home? My dream job would honestly be something with customer service. And I know those jobs, they usually don't pay a lot, but I thrive in customer service. As much of an introvert as I am, I can make small talk with people all day long. I know that kind of like goes against the rules of being an introvert, but I enjoy that. I enjoy helping people and getting to know customers. My full-time job right now, the one that pays the bills, is in healthcare finance. I do enjoy it. I've been doing it for almost 13 years, but I have considered lately maybe looking into becoming a professional video editor because I absolutely love editing videos. It takes a long time, but I have really enjoyed it. I was an avid YouTube watcher for a long time and I wanted to make videos for the longest time, but learning the editing process was really intimidating to me because I didn't even know where to start. My first few videos were a little bit bumpy, but it's another creative outlet. It's fun. I enjoy it. And so I have considered maybe doing that, but I don't know. I do really enjoy the job that I have now. Dream home would be a tiny home. Like I mentioned with Alaska, my sister and I lived in a tiny fifth wheel trailer. And it wasn't like the fifth wheel trailers that you see now. This was one of those where you couldn't stand up in the upper part of it. Like you could only sit up. But that kind of life would suit me, to just live in an RV full time and travel. That would totally suit me. Since I do work from home, I have considered doing it. But with the type of job that I have, I can't use Wi-Fi. But that has always been a dream of mine. Thank you to everybody who did submit questions. Thank you to everybody who has been supportive of my channel, whether that's by subscribing, commenting, or even just watching a video, even if I never hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.